Dr. Dallas Jurisevic, Spanish faculty, and I'm part of the Humanities and Visual Arts. I'm originally from Omaha and went to school out in San Diego at the University of San Diego. Did my bachelor's there, did a double major in Spanish and psychology. Then I went to New York University in Madrid, Spain. They have a program in Madrid, Spain where you get your degree from an accredited American institution while you're living abroad. So it was a fabulous opportunity to get an MA in Spanish literature. After that, I came back. I taught a bit. I was at KU, Kansas University. Then I went to Missouri Western State University, then ended up back here in Omaha in a doctoral program at the University of Nebraska at Lincoln. So I completed my doctoral degree down there in teaching, learning, and teacher education. That was never my initial goal to teach. My initial goal was to be a criminal psychologist for the FBI. I was going to be the Clarice Starling of Silence of the Lambs, and after doing some research in that area, realized that that probably was not a good fit for me. So I ended up doing the one thing I enjoyed was Spanish. And so I thought of how can I do Spanish, and I went into teaching and I thought this is the greatest job in the world because it wasn't a job for me. It was fun. I was imparting what I loved, to other people. I just completed 10 years. I typically teach the basic language series, being Spanish 1 and 2, 3, and 4. We have multiple modes that we offer. I kind of focus in the hybrid and the online areas. I like to be at Metro because of the mission. The mission really speaks to me, and I think it fits my personality and my own goals. And so I would say what keeps me here is the ability to be innovative and to be able to try new things, to be able to create new classes, use new technologies without a lot of the red tape that often happens at four-year institutions. The students are definitely what gets me up every morning, and it's what makes, I think, teaching unique, because obviously we get new students all the time. And so new personalities, new challenges, and so it makes the job interesting. I don't have a favorite teacher. I have a lot of teachers that gave me both positives and negatives throughout my experience. So for me, I just kind of took something from every one of my teachers throughout all of my education, and it's really made me the teacher that I've become. I would say my mentor would have been, her name is Dr. Allie Moeller. She was my dissertation advisor, and before that she was just a colleague in the field who I looked up to, and then got fortunate enough to be able to work with in my doctoral studies. I would brand myself as the teacher that teaches you more than just Spanish. I think that in my classroom, I get the opportunity to use great technologies. I'm teaching culture. It seems like I'm teaching a lot of technology, culture, the language, and I think students, I'm teaching them how to, empower themselves in the learning process. I would say my teaching philosophy is creating an environment where learning can occur. So not necessarily me standing at the pulpit, giving my, my lectures, but me creating an environment where students can have hands-on learning opportunities and actually take ownership of their learning. Well, what I want them to take away is probably a little different than maybe what they actually take away. I read my evaluations, obviously. I want them to take away the language and be able to, to pursue that in whatever way they feel best fits in their career and in their life. But obviously on the global scale, I'd like them to, look at the culture and be able to embrace it and have, the appreciation for the diversity that there is out there. As far as what students take away, they'll definitely talk about being able to do cooking and dancing and singing, and I try to create, as I said, a very conducive learning environment, for students to have fun with the language and not just feel as though it's, a typical class where there's just lecture and notes. I would like for students to, remember me, sure. I would prefer them to remember the class and remember the connections that they made with each other, with the language, with the culture. And if they remember me along the way, great. But hopefully it's as, someone who inspired them to continue on in the language. The students here have taught me a great deal about establishing a balance between work, family, and just personal time, just managing time, because students here tend to have quite a few things on their plate, and so being able to create that balance is definitely something I've been able to take away from the students here. One of the greatest challenges, obviously, is to stay current, but I would also say to stay relevant to students and to be able to impart examples and share, experiences with them that they can relate to. I can stay current with what's going on in the world, but I also need to stay relevant to my students. Technology has, I think, enhanced my teaching. It's kept me, I think, current with where students are at in their daily lives. And so being able to stay current with students and to be able to expand the learning outside of the classroom through this technology, I think has really just made the learning experience richer. I like to travel for fun. My husband is Croatian, so we often go to Croatia. But we do like to travel. I like to read quite a bit. I like to run, and I'm a soccer fan. Dr. Dallas Jurisevic, Spanish faculty, Humanities and Visual Arts at Metropolitan Community College.